welcome back, guys. Welcome to part two of our creating a web gallery. Um, the other one finally went through from the other night. It took a lot. You have no idea what was happening behind the scenes. But I'm happy that it is recording now. Hopefully, it records throughout the entire thing. And then this way, this video will be done and you'll have a gallery. A few things I realized in the last one, though. That was probably, I know I said 4, but actually it was probably like the 6th or 7th time I had recorded it. And I was frustrated by then. So I actually named it the wrong file. Where it says SeaLife.html, it should actually be name what our button is going to be, which is see info. So if you do this, it's no big. I'm just going to go ahead and close that one, the file. And then I'm going to right click or control click on the one that I named incorrectly. I'm going to go to edit and I'm going to go to rename. And at this point, I can just type the name of it, which should be, you know what? It does say SeaLife. Hang on, let me see. Let me make sure. So the name, what it should be, is see info. Okay, that's why. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I was gonna show you the other way to do it, but anyway, 2 ways we can rename this. I can right click and I can go to edit and I can go to rename, and then it'll give me the box where I can rename, and I can just type, or I can just click on it one time and be patient. And then I could type the name of the file, which was see info. We want to make sure we're naming it correctly because, as you know, if we don't name it correctly, then the button won't have the proper link and it won't link to it. So now with that named correctly, I can go ahead and open that back up. And now I have my see info information. And we left off at, what did we leave off? At putting an image gallery inside of here, I thought. But you know, I restarted my computer and it did not save that. But have no fear. I know how to get us back to where we were. So we left off. Let me go into code view real quick so we can see. So we had put our H2 information in, or it had already been in there. And then we set our class for Pix Gallery. And we set the class for Pix Gallery. Pix Gallery is going to serve as a container for all of our images. So we also made space in here so that we could put our actual image in. So I'm going to go in between the P tags and tab in. Again, you guys have already probably seen this on the last video, but like I said, all type of craziness was happening. So I'm just going to redo it. So where I have this P class and this closed P, I'm going to do something that's kind of cool. I told you Dreamweaver is like a drag and drop WYSIWYG, so it kind of sets it up to where we can drag and drop things in. So that being said, if I go to my images folder and I grab this jellyfish and diver small, and I remember showing you guys in the last video, but like I said, I recorded so many times that the only thing that were new were in the images folder, which was the small and large, where I went into Photoshop and I just took a smaller thumbnail. It's like 200 by 200. And then we're going to link it to the larger one when someone rolls over it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this image of jellyfish and diver small, and I'm just going to grab it and drag it and drop it into that space that I created for it. Notice how now it says image source equals, and it's got our images folder we're going into, the jellyfish file, the width and the height, and then our spot for us to put our alt text in. So I'm going to go ahead and put alt text in here. And I'm going to just say, let me see. What do I want to say for alt text? I'm going to just say something simple like diver looking at octopus, or diver looking at an octopus. Let's try that. So diver looking at an octopus. Oops, I want to spell diver correctly. Now, with this in here, I do want to introduce you to a new tag, which is called the title tag. And all the title tag does is when you hover over the image, you'll actually get like a little blue box or a yellow box, depending on the browser, and this box will kind of give you like, hey, this is the title of this image. It'll be the same thing as alt text, except for where alt text reads the information to someone who can't see it. The title will, when you hover over, you'll visually be able to see a tag, and I'll show you what that does in a second. So I'm just going to highlight my alt text. You can easily just retype it. I like to give myself I like to not have to type again. All right, so right here where it says title, I can go ahead and put my cursor in there, and I can place that text in there. Now what it's going to do is it's going to give us a title attribute, and as we all know, that means it's going to be title, the equal sign, and the quote, quote. So once I hit return, notice now a title tag popped up here. We could have easily just typed this in here by just typing title equals, and then our quote, quote. What? I'll show you. I will. So if I delete this, I can just type title equals quote, quote, as I normally do. And then I'll just put my information inside of the quotes, which is diver looking at an octopus. So it's very easy. What Dreamweaver supplies, or how Dreamweaver helps us, is it just makes it easier for us to cut and paste or drag and drop and things like that. But these things we can do ourselves, even if we don't have Dreamweaver. Okay, so now that being said, there are a few other things that I want to do to this. And we did this in the last one, but I just want to make sure that we cover it again. So we have our image in here. We have our width and height set at 200. We have our title attribute, and we have our, where are we? So we have, let me highlight it. I just realized you can't see what I'm doing. So we have our image in here and the source, which is the small JPEG. Then we have our alt text attribute with the information inside of it, which is diver looking at an octopus. At an octopus. We have our width equals 200, our height equals 200, and then we have our title attribute, which is just saying diver looking at an octopus. And like I said, I'll show you in a few minutes what that's going to do. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to link our image. So I'm going to go to the split view just so I can hover, grab the image, and notice our image is sitting inside of here. So I want to make sure that the image is selected. Another way I can make it selected is to make sure I look in this tag selector bar and that the image tag is showing, and I can highlight it and it show me that the image is the one that I'm inside of, or that I have selected. Okay, so another thing we want to do is we want to link this image to the larger image. That way, when the viewer clicks on this image, it'll open up to a new image in its own page. So to do that, I'm going to highlight the image, and then I'm going to go down here to link, and then I'm going to click on the folder, and it's going to browse for the file, which should happen in a few moments. And it is. The selector file should open, and it's like, hey, what image do you want? So right here where it says Jellyfish and Diver Large, I'm going to select that one, hit open, and now you don't see anything happen, but it did. By linking it, we're saying, hey, I want this to be a link, and when the person or the viewer hovers over it, they're going to click, and once they click, I want this image to open the larger image. But we don't want it to take over our page. So what we want to do is we want to go down here to target, and we want to select blank. And you can't see that, so let me make mine smaller so you can see it. All right, so target, and we want to select blank. Okay, and now what that did is it gave the target attribute, which is the target equal, remember the quote, quote, and underscore blank. So again, you could have just as easily typed this information in yourself. So I just want to make sure that you guys know that. And you could also do a title on that one if you wanted to, but we already have a title on this one, so we should be good. And notice how my cursor, see how my cursor, when I hover over this, it's showing the title, Diver Looking at an Octopus. That's what the title tag does. It gives you feedback as to, hey, what's happening in this image? So it gives you a visual feedback. So again, where alt text allows the reader to read, to give audio feedback to someone who cannot see, given the title tag will give visual feedback to people who can see. So this is a really good idea to have both. I'm going to save this, and let's go ahead and preview what we just did. So we want to go into our browser panel in Dreamweaver, and we want to choose Preview in Chrome. And now Chrome opens up. It's pretty in its own window. And then here's what's going to happen. So now we have our image here. We hover over it. Notice the title tag. The information comes in to let us know, hey, this is what's happening in here. So it's giving us that visual feedback. And if we click on it, notice it opens in its own tab. So it hasn't taken over our tab. And it's the larger image. So this is what we've just done inside of Dreamweaver by setting that up. And then also what we want is when we close this, now the viewer isn't taken away from our page. The viewer is still on our page. So that's kind of cool. So that's what we just did. Another thing that we did in the last video that I just forgot is we went ahead and labeled this. So I'm going to go into code view. And I'm going to see what other things did I forget to do. Okay, so right here, I think I just put SeaLife Gallery. So I'm going to save that, and then we'll preview that as well in the browser. We'll refresh, and now it's showing us the SeaLife Gallery. Ladies and gentlemen, here is my 10-year-old son who's asking me if I know where his pajama pants are. Say hello.
Hi.
That's my boy. I just had to introduce him. So that I don't know. Ask Daddy. Okay. All right. So where was I? Okay. So we have our image in here. So we have it set. We kind of like it. We're happy with it. So the next thing that we want to do is bring other images in here, but I'm just gonna stick with this one image because the purpose of this is just to show you how to do it. So I'm gonna minimize this one, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? We know that all images are gonna sit inside of one set of p tags, and this p tag has a class of pick gallery, which is gonna serve as the container for all of our images, and then we're gonna target each image individually. You guys will see how to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight everything from my link. So that's the ahref, my images. All the information is inside of there until the closing link. And I'm going to copy it, right? And I'm just going to paste the images in. I think I want about 12. So I'm going to paste it. So here's 1. I'm going to hit return, bring another one in, 2. Hit return, bring another one in, 3. Actually, that's 4. Hit return, bring another one in, 5. Hit return, bring another one in, 6. Hit return, bring another one in, 7. Oops. Okay, hold on. I can't see. Let's see, how many do I have in here? I lose track, you guys know. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here's 7. Hit return, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm gonna save that. I just copied it 12 times. So however many images you guys have, you'll just bring them all in. You'll follow the same process of linking it and targeting it to the other image. So your images will be different images. I'm just using the same image for this one. So if I go into split view, I should be able to see that I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so here I have 12 images. So let's see what it looks like on the browser, because right now it's not looking that appealing. And I'm quite sure on the browser, it's not looking that appealing. However, there are 12 images in here, and they're side by side. Notice they have this space, and let me tell you about this space. I know I told you that in HTML, it doesn't care about how many spaces that you have. Regardless, it's going to preview it. However, with images, it actually does give one space. And even with text, it'll give that one space. So that's what it's doing. That's why that space is here. When I hit return each time, it was giving it a natural amount of space. So if you find that, I don't want that space inside in between my images, go ahead and you can eliminate those spaces. For me, I'm okay with the space for now because we're going to style this to look how we want it to look anyway. Right now, it looks a hot mess, right? Well, maybe not a hot mess, maybe a cool mess. There you go, a cool mess. That way, it was a positive mess. See, so it's not negative. That's what we're going with. All right. So wait, I'm gonna minimize this, and I'm gonna go into setting up the styles for it. Because right now, as it stands, we have all the HTML that we need for this. All of our images are in, and they're set. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and set up a style to style this up. So I'm gonna go to Global CSS. I'm going to go into code view for me because I need to be able to see what we're doing. So the first thing that we want to target is that Pix Gallery. We want to tell it what the width of, and that's the class that we put on it. Remember that class is going to be the container for all the images that sit inside of it. So we want to give it a width. So we're going to say, first, let's go ahead and type our Pix Gallery. And let's go ahead and give it a width of 100%. Okay, and then let's give it a margin of about 10 pixels, and we want it to center. So we're going to give it 10 pixel center auto. So it's going to be 10 pixels on the top and the bottom, and then automatically on the left and the right. And the interesting thing about this is I had to play with this a while before I got it to where I wanted it to be. Remember, I told you guys are going to play with the numbers and stuff until you get it how you want it. However, I've done this so many times trying to record this video that I remember it all by heart. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, so let's do a margin of 10 pixels. And we're going to do the left and right. So margin top and bottom are going to be 10 pixels. Left and right are going to be auto. I'm going to save that just so that we can see what it actually has done, if anything. So when I hit refresh, we don't really see anything happening, but it actually is doing stuff, but we're not seeing it happening. But notice how our page is responsive because we use percentages. So it is responding in the edges. Now, in the advanced class that we talk about, we'll talk about like even more. We'll dig even deeper into responsive design. But for now, this is where we are. So I'm going to minimize this. And then, all right, so we have Pix Gallery. So let's go ahead and do another one. And we'll do Pix, because now we want to target the images, the individual images that sit inside of Pix Gallery. So we're going to do Pix Gallery, space, and then IMG. Remember, this is what's called a compound selector. And it's a compound selector because we're targeting more than one rule, pretty much, or more than one element with one rule. So we want them all to float, right? So we're going to give them a float left. And we'll look as we create these. So we just did the float left. Let's see what that does, if anything. All right, notice now it's not worried about that space that we had in between it. It's saying, okay, nope, she said to float left, so let's move everything right next to each other. So it's floating every single image that's in here to the left. We're happy with that. That's cool. All right, so the next thing that we want to tell it to do is we want to say we don't want any padding. So inside of our boxes, we want 0 pixels of padding. All right, so this, okay, so we don't see much happening, but we will. It actually works better once we put in the margins and the borders as well. So I'm going to minimize that. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to give it a border. We're going to give it a solid border that's white of 3 pixels. And I can put these in any order I want, or you can put these in any order you want. You don't have to do it the way that I'm doing it. So I'm going to save that, and let's preview this. All right, so now you'll notice we have our border around all individual images. You might not be able to tell the ones here because of the image also being white, but you'll see it soon. Once we put some padding and pad this out, you'll see the separation. But it's coming to look like we want it. It's starting to look pretty good. They're still at 100%. They're complying. Look at how much better they're looking as they increase or decrease. So this is good. This is good. All right, so I'm going to minimize that. And the next thing that we're going to do is, I'm sorry, I said padding earlier. Let's set up some margins. We want to give it, on the top, we don't want any margin. And then on the right, we want 30 pixels. Bottom, we want 30 pixels. And the left, we want about 2 pixels. Okay, so let's go ahead and do margin. And we're gonna, and again, I had to play with this in order to get this to work, to look the way that I wanted it to look. And because I've done it so many times, you guys don't get to be a part of the fun part where I get to test it out and play. My favorite part. All right, so I'm gonna save that, and then I'm gonna refresh it, and now we have a nice, clean look to our images. They all link. Oops. Okay, let's hit cancel on that one. If I click on any one of these, it's all going to open up. Remember that blank tab? So it's opening up in a new tab, and it's opening up the larger size image. Okay, so this, hold on. So this is how you set up that image gallery. And like I said, it's quick, it's short and dirty. Your images will be different images, of course. Another thing you can do, if you want to follow my tutorial to a T, and you're like, I don't want, what you can do is you can go to the source and then look in your code view. And then if you want to set all yours up, you can highlight your image, not in live view though, go in design view. You can highlight your image, and then if you double click it, it'll bring back up the select image source. You can choose a different image, and then you'll just have to set up your link and then change your alt text, your title, and then everything else is set up for you. So this is how you set up an image gallery. It's the quick and easy way. I like doing this one because I don't have to use any JavaScript or anything. It's very clean. It's very neat. It's very nice. The design essentials look really, really well. So when you're setting up your gallery, this is a very quick and easy way to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing your images. And if you guys need any additional assistance and you have something that you want me to record for you, just let me know. As a matter of fact, I was already in the process of doing this. As I told you guys, I was very frustrated because I had worked on this probably so many times. I'm not even going to count. But so many times I had worked on trying to get this out to you Sunday because I wanted you to have it Sunday night. However, my video program was just acting crazy. And it kept cutting off. And then it wouldn't even let me finish the recording. It was very crazy. It wouldn't even let me save it. So, but Rebecca wrote me earlier today and she asked, could I show you guys how to do an image gallery? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's too funny because that's what I've been trying to get up there. But had I not been trying to get it up there and she wrote me, I would have put a video up there anyway. So if there's some technique and you're like, oh, I can't remember how to do that, I don't understand how to do it, let me know. Let me know within ample amount of time though, because of course during the week I have my day job and children, all sorts of things like that. But let me know and I'll make time to set up a video. But if it's like Friday night and you're like, hey, I don't know how to do this or that, you might be late. I mean, write me anyway, but it might be a little too late at that point because Friday night I'm going to bed so that I can get prepared for the Saturday morning class. So just let me know, communicate with me. I have no problems creating videos and stuff for you guys. In fact, I actually enjoy it. So keep in touch with me. You have any issues, I will help you out with this final page or your final website. I look forward to seeing them. I'm pretty excited about it. So I will see you guys unless you contact me before, I'll see you guys Saturday and we'll have a good time with the presentations.